Hi, I'm Prisma from California. Please like and subscribe because MSA will give $2,000 to one lucky winner in the coming 7 days. My sister Juliet and I were born to freakishly rich parents who adored and spoiled us at our lakeside mansion. Even though Juliet and I were twins, people always seemed to compliment me more for my pretty blonde curls and blue eyes. Look at this beautiful child. She's God's gift to humans. Of course, both of our daughters are adorable. Oh, that one's yours too? I never would have guessed. See what I mean? This didn't change even after we grew up. Over time, Juliet started noticing it too and became extremely competitive, especially when it came to dancing. Look at Prisma's moves. She's so adorable. She'll make us proud one day. What? She's dancing like a frog who's holding in a fart. How can you guys be so blind? I admit, Juliet was better than me, but I wasn't so bad. And everyone, including my parents, seemed to agree. But every time they praised me, Julia's butt would light on fire. Not that I cared, I loved the attention. Over the next few years, Juliet and I grew further apart, and by the time we were 16, we were pretty much strangers living under the same roof. She got into dancing, and I fell in love with writing. Things were fine, till one day, Dad lost all his money in stocks, and we had to sell our estate and move to a tiny apartment. Worst of all, I had to share a room with Juliet. Seriously, Mom, I need my privacy. You know that. It's just for one night. We'll buy you a mattress in the morning, and Juliet can sleep in the lounge. No way. I need my own room too. If she gets one, so do I. Please, don't be so melodramatic. Before Juliet could argue more, Mom left. Juliet tossed and turned angrily, but finally fell asleep. And I did too. But a few hours later, I woke up to her screaming, "Ew! I can't believe you still do that!" I felt horrible as I realized the bed was all wet. I had a condition where stress could sometimes make me lose control over my bladder while sleeping. That was my secret. And now Juliet knew. Shut up, Juliet. It's not a big deal. Who would have thought Miss Perfect needed diapers? It's a huge deal, and now you'll do what I say if you don't want anyone at our new school to find out. You're an awful person. You don't say. I worked so hard to be this awful, so thank you. For the first time in years, I get to dominate you. I gave up the room, and Juliet promised to tell no one, but it was so hard to trust her. On our first day of our new school, Juliet and I could feel all eyes on us as we entered, and I heard a few kids whispering about our branded clothes and bags. That's all we had from our life before. Look at them. They all look ew. This place is yuck. Don't say that. It's the best Mom and Dad could do. You don't have to kiss their butt now. They're not around to hear you and pat your back. Anyway, I'm off. Good luck getting through a year in this dump. Ugh, such a brat. Thank God we were in different homerooms. But it was kinda true. The school wasn't half as fancy as my private one back in Malibu. Kids were louder and meaner, and even the teachers didn't seem to care. That day as I walked back home, I missed my old life and prayed something could magically put everything back in place. I guess God was in a happy mood, 'cause the next day, Juliet gave us the best news we'd heard all week. I auditioned for the role of dancer in Superstar Karen's next movie. OMG, this Karen doesn't age. I should get her doctor's number. I know, I'm like super pretty, but I can be prettier. So why not? Anyway, I got a call back for the second round. How amazing is that? That's so cool. You totally deserve it. Stop pretending. I know you're probably just burning inside. Get ready to beg for my autograph. Jeez, relax. Don't be so overconfident, okay? Ugh, no one is as good as me there. This rolls in my pocket. Anyway, I have to practice, so I'll see you guys around. I was genuinely happy for her, but I just wished something could turn up for me too, especially after I saw how Mom fussed over Juliet. It made me even more jealous than I'd like to admit. Juliet's audition was in a week, and Mom decided it would be a good idea to tag along and cheer her on, despite her protests. The set was huge, and I felt like I'd entered a TV or something. Just then, Karen walked in looking like a vision, and everyone fell silent. She looked even better than her movies. This woman was a goddess. Okay, let's get this movie started. Wait a minute, who are you? I was so lost in admiring her that I didn't realize I was standing in the middle of the scene. Oh, I'm so sorry. It was just, no, go back. Could you dance for me? "Oh, I'm not really here for that. Just give it a try, please." She signaled for the music to start, and I did what she said. To my surprise, I enjoyed the attention on me, and the camera didn't make me feel nervous. After I was done, Karen took me to her office. "Okay, so I'm gonna offer you a deal. $1 million and you sign the movie now. But I've been so out of touch with dance, and my sister's way better. You should give her a chance. I don't know who your sister is, but no one here is as pretty as you. And I could always train you. Think about it. It's either you or some other girl, but not your sister." Karen handed me her card and left. And when I turned around, I saw Juliet fuming at me. And when we reached home, she went bonkers on me. "How dare you? This was my chance to shine and you snatched it away. I hate you." "Listen, I know how this looks, but I didn't think this would happen. And she told me she wasn't offering the role to you anyway. So it's a good thing I got it. We could use the money. You'll make up anything to justify how selfish you are. If I don't get this role, you can't have it either. And if you take it, I'll make sure you regret it. Don't threaten me like that. If you were good enough, she wouldn't have chosen me, okay? Think about that." I knew how Juliet felt, but it was a 1 in a million opportunity. The money would benefit all of us. And it wasn't like she was getting the role, so why couldn't I have it? The next morning, I went to Karen and signed the deal. When Juliet found out, she lost her mind and screamed for hours. But I knew I'd done the right thing for my family, so I ignored her. A week later, we started shooting, and working with Karen was a dream. She was the sweetest. But for some reason, no one else on set agreed with me. One evening after a late shoot, we talked, and I told her my whole story. "Oh, darling, I know how you feel. I come from a poor family too, and I made my way up." "Really? That's so inspiring." I felt so special because she confided in me. But the next day, when I met her, she totally blew me off. And soon, she started showing her true colors. She treated me like her servant, and I was stuck getting her coffee and salads. And she kept criticizing me in front of the whole crew during shootings. I decided to talk to her, but soon we started with promotion interviews, and there was never a good time. During one interview, the host asked me a bunch of questions, but Karen kept butting in. "So, what do you love most in the world?" "Well, I love dancing, and me, of course. She's my biggest fan." "Yes, but I was saying that my parents are so proud of her. I took this poor girl under my wing, and now I'll make her a big star. Isn't she lucky?" Karen didn't let me say anything. And the next day, everybody was talking about her big heart. No one was talking about my talent. Great. Now people think I'm some charity case. Don't overthink it. Of course, you're talented, but everyone likes a good sob story. Just go with the flow. I tried, but it kept getting worse. Everyone wanted to know more about how I became famous, and even started bothering my parents to get their answers. "Are you really poor, or is this just a publicity stunt? How does it feel to live off your daughter's money?" "Well, it's my money to begin with, so I feel betrayed. What the heck are you doing? Telling the truth? Helping the media? I'm being a responsible citizen." I dragged Juliet away before she said something to make the situation worse, and a few weeks later, we moved to another place. Lately, the stress had been so much that I was wetting the bed more frequently. I really hadn't expected things to be so hard. A few days later, I was going through the script when I heard noises coming from Karen's office and peeped in to see the writer of the movie crying. "You can't do this. You promised me a better amount for my story. That's why I gave the script to you." Oh, cry me a river for changing my mind. This is my last offer. Or, I can break your career faster than I break hearts. But it's not enough. You know how much this story means to me, and I'm knee-deep in debt. Not my problem. You want the money or not? The girl left crying, and I entered the room to have a word with Karen. Stay out of it. But it's not fair. You can't just take away her hard work and not even pay her well for it. It's just wrong. Really? Have you forgotten what you did to your own sister? She was the better dancer, and you didn't even flinch before taking her place. That was different. It was me or her, and you chose you. You and I are more alike than you think. And the next time you go snooping around in my business, know this: I will fire you. You can't do that. I'm the face of your movie, and people would crush you for firing the poor girl. Darling, everyone is replaceable. Ask your sister. Karen's words hit me like a hot slap, and for the first time, I thought how unfair I'd been to Juliet. I had to make it right, and I started with dropping an anonymous tip to the media about how Karen exploited her staff. The news blew up like a volcano, and Karen faced bad backlash. She knew I'd leaked the news and I was fired on the spot, but I couldn't care less. All I wanted was to make things right. But Juliet was still ignoring me, and I couldn't blame her. One morning, I walked into her room to talk, but she wasn't around. And seconds later, I heard Mom scream. What? What happened? Mom pointed to the TV, and Karen was standing with Juliet and calling her my replacement. What? I was still reeling with shock when Juliet walked in. Juliet, I know I'm probably the last person you trust, but working with Karen will destroy you. She's just using you to teach me a lesson. Fine by me. You do need a few lessons. Like, you're not the only dancer in the world, and I'm far more talented. Heck, if people knew your little secret, you wouldn't have even made it this far. Now stop being annoying, or I might tell it to the press. The industry runs on gossip. Sure, people will talk about me for a few days, and then what? They'll forget about it. But working with Karen will make you miserable. Don't do this. I'll do anything I want. Now get out of my way. I have a plane to catch. Despite my parents' pleas, Juliet left and we didn't hear from her for weeks. Slowly, I got back to my studies and managed to pass my high school. But we were running out of money and I needed something to keep afloat. So I decided to apply for small roles in movies. A few days later, one of the old writers on Karen's set called me and said she'd recommended me for a role in the movie based on her script. It did well, and I started getting more offers. Slowly, the money started rolling in, and we moved to a better place. I even saved up enough to put me through a writing school, and things were fine. Except, Juliet was still in the back of my mind. And then one day while I was leaving for work, Mom came running in. It's Juliet. She's in jail. What? Mom told me that Juliet was involved in some embezzlement scandal with Karen, and they'd been arrested. We went to the police station with a lawyer to bail Juliet out. My parents seemed to forgive her instantly, but I was still mad at her. Prisma, there's a lot I need to say, but I don't know where to start. How about sorry or thank you? I am really sorry. I was blinded by all the glamour and a chance to be better than you for once. Karen treated me just like you said, and she'll get powerful lawyers and get herself out of this mess, but I'm stuck in it now. You don't have to believe me, but I'm innocent. I tried telling you she's a witch, and I think I do believe you. Do you think you can forgive me? I will never even mention the word diaper in front of you. Shut up. I'm better now, and it might take some time to fix things between us, but let's get this mess sorted first, and I'm happy to have you home.